This is real for me. I need this. This is a therapy for me.
We are not licensed professionals nor medical professionals, and anything we say should not be taken as direct medical advice, here or in the future. Awesome.
All right. Well, we have Seth here.
Hey, how's it going, guys? How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's my first podcast I've ever done, so let's do this.
Yes. You said you've been on the news before?
Yeah, it was just for 3TV back in high school.
Yeah, what were in the news for?
Wearing shorts in wintertime.
Oh yeah?
That
they
was
had you on
literally
the news for wearing shorts?
Yeah, they were like, "Aren't you cold?" And I was like, "No." And then they were like, "Well, we're gonna put you on the news because it's freezing out and you're wearing shorts." And I was like,
Honestly,
sure.
I might have seen that because I
It
remember.
was on 3TV
Yeah.
with a dumb white kid with a white shirt and
It
glasses.
might have been you.
That was
I
me.
remember that story.
That was me. He was all, "This kid ain't freezing." Like,
Is 3TV one of your guys'
Yeah.
Valley news stations?
Arizona 3TV, yeah. We got Fox 10, we got 3TV.
Okay.
CNN,
Awesome.
That's cool.
cool.
Well, today we're covering autism.
Yes,
And
we are.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about autism and what it's like for you.
Oh, man. Well, there's different spectrums of autism. There's high-functioning verbal, there's high-functioning nonverbal. We have low-functioning verbal, you have low-functioning nonverbal, and then everything in between. Me, I'm high-functioning verbal. My parents thought I was high-functioning nonverbal, but because I could grunt, I can make sounds, my mom was like, if he can do that, he can make words. Sure, it took 4 long, agonizing years to finally talk. Now I can't shut up. So I'm high-functioning verbal. What else? I'm very smart. I had a 4.5 GPA in high school.
That's better than
Wow.
me. I think I had like a 1.
So I had a 4.5. I could have went to any college in the United States.
Wow.
I was 4th or 5th place, like the top 10 from valedictorian. I could have had an associate's degree graduating high school.
Wow.
Wow.
What else? I was National Honor Society.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sound like you had one hell of a high school career.
Yeah.
I didn't want it, but I did it. I did it, so I don't know why I did it, but I just did it to do it.
No, that's awesome.
Boom.
So I know nothing about autism.
Oh, you're in for a whole new one.
I know. So I can't wait to hear about it. But for me, it's it sounds like you're really smart. So what does it how does it hinder you? And what's the difference? It seems like you're doing really well. So what does it hinder you? In your life?
Hindrance?
Yeah,
So the good thing about autism is you're super smart. I have photographic memory, so
Wow.
I'll remember certain things and nobody else remembers. So oh, that's right. Yep, photographic memory, gotta love it. And then with that, you remember the good things, you remember the bad things, obviously.
Right.
And so how it's hindering is social cues. Certain jokes will go, and I'm they're like, "Did you get it?" I'm all, "No. What do you mean by that?" And then
Yeah.
I go to take. Oh, no, I got it. And then I'm already too late.
Right.
And it's oh, well, joke's already passed. I'm like, darn, social cues are in my head. Another thing about social cues is the dating world. That is the worst for me because there's a time I was at a bar with my friends and this girl, I don't know who she was or whatever, but she was hitting on me. I didn't even know what was going on. I was like, oh yeah, you're pretty cute too, just playing along. And she looks at me with a smile. I look down back at her. She kissed me on the cheek and walked away. My brother, like, dude, what are you doing, Omo? I don't know, I'm trying to play darts. And they're like, she's totally hating on you, bro. And I was like, can I go back? They're all, no, it's over with. It's done, Johnny, it's over. And I was like, social cues, there we go.
Okay.
So have you been in any romantic relationships before?
I've been in one. It really sucked. I thought it was my first love. I was 23. First, everything kiss, the whole spiel.
Yeah.
There was a time when we were together. It was back in August of 2019. August 2019, I reserved. This is Sedona. They have the Los Abogados Hotel and Spa. It's really expensive. So I reserved 4 days and 4 nights for $1,200. So it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We come back Monday. So I reserved those. And what happened was, we get there. The first thing this ungrateful person says is, you could have got a Motel 6 for $89 a night. That's red flag number one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, one,
Oh,
you don't
no.
appreciate expensive things. You cheap. Another red flag.
Yeah.
So we're in the room. And, it's a nice little romantic type thing. So I try to be romantic, and she goes, we can do this at home. Red flag number 3.
What?
Red flag number 3.
Yeah.
Hold on. It gets better.
Oh gosh.
Not better, actually worse. So it gets worse. So by the 3rd day, she goes, well, we're going to go to Prescott to see my uncle. And I'm like, so what about the rest of this?
Yeah.
And then she goes, I don't know. So I had to eat $600. Had to fucking... I had to fucking...
That hurts
I
my
ate
heart.
it. I ate $600. 2 whole days. I just had to eat.
Oh no.
And so we get to Prescott to our uncle's house. He's cool. His Uncle Rocco was super cool. I didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
By that point, I am locked out, shut down. I'm quiet the whole time. They're like, dude, why did you say no? Why did you say no? I'm all,
You just had your whole
I'm
weekend
all,
ruined.
I'm all, ask her.
Yeah.
Hey, why is our weekend ruined? She goes, I don't know.
So,
Yeah,
in
so-
what specific ways do you think it affects friendships and relationships for you other than social cues?
Relationships, like with autism, how it affects that.
Yeah, so like other than just social cues.
Yeah.
Just trying to fit in. So with the friends group thing in high school, I would be like the circus idiot, the village idiot. I would do certain things to try to fit into a group, and not realizing that they were doing this to make fun of me. I was doing it oh, I'm cool with everybody else, They're like, ha ha ha, look at you, Jack Wagon, Chump Sucker. There's this one time in sophomore year, my friends were they did a sack tat game. Sack tat's when you just hit each other in the lower parts.
Yeah.
And they got me good. They got me really good in front of all the cheerleaders. Let me tell you what, that fucking sucked. Excuse my French. That sucked so bad because their cheerleaders were beautiful women, and you're sitting there, in pain and agony, and they're all laughing at you. I'm just well, what do you want me to do now? I'm already embarrassed.
Right.
But I did get my sweet revenge.
How'd you do that?
The next day, the same person was making fun of somebody with disabilities. His name was Matt. His name was Matt. He was a blonde kid. He was worse than, not worse, but his autism was more severe than I was. He was making fun of him. So what I did was, you're not making fun of Matt. You can make fun of me all day long.
Yeah.
So what I did is I walked behind him, and I go, windmill. Bank as hard as I could. He dropped, and all the cheerleaders saw him, and they all laughed at him. I said,
Hey. Buddy. Yeah.
I pat him on the shoulder, and I walked away.
Oh.
Because that's just justice.
Yeah.
You don't make fun of somebody. Because with me in high school, I was yes, I played football. I did track. But I also stood up for the people that couldn't stand up for themselves.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because they needed that.
Yeah.
That's what they
Right.
needed. And there were kids in my PE class that they always got picked on, like Matt or Logan, Malachi. All these kids got picked on, and I was like, that's not happening. Not on my watch.
So you took the hit, basically.
I did. I was the punching bag, but I did it so that it wouldn't happen to them.
Yeah.
And
What
they
kind
appreciated
of made you want to stand up for them so much?
Because I knew that they couldn't stand up for me because they couldn't stand up for themselves. It was harsh to say, but it's how they are. They're super smart, and people take advantage of smart nerd people because, that's how people are. They pick on the lower levels, and they couldn't do anything about it. So I was, you know what? I'll do something about it. because that's not fair to them to be treated like that. Because I was treated like that growing up in 6th grade, 5th grade, 4th grade. That was me. And by high school, I was like, I can't watch this happen to anybody else. I won't let it happen. So I was like basically like the Dark Knight.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
I was the Batman of high school for,
Yeah.
for the people that were like me.
I can see that happening.
I-
Cool.
Do you remember what age you were diagnosed with autism?
It was 2.
2
I
years
was
old.
2 years old because like when you're younger, you like texture. Like you like picking off candy off the floor.
Yeah.
You eat it, right? You like to eat shit off the floor. Well, they found out I was different because my dad had lug nuts from his tire
Oh no.
on the floor. And I was like, what's that? And they're
Oh,
covered in like
no.
this red, like the red grease. It looks like
Yeah.
looks like Twizzlers, looks like
Yeah.
Swedish fish.
Oh no.
My dad goes, oh, no, what are you doing? And like he took it on and I'll spit it out. I spit it out.
Yeah.
It tasted horrible, by the way.
Yeah.
Not very fun. But there's a texture thing. When you're autistic, you like texture. Sometimes you hate texture, you like texture. Like me,
Yeah.
that was the texture that I used to like. And then they eventually diagnosed me when I took all the Tupperware at 3 in a Tupperware container, and I just organized the whole entire Tupperware drawer at 3 years old. Because when you're 3, you're like,
Right.
me, biggest to smallest, all the lids. My mom was like, that's not normal behavior. We're gonna get you diagnosed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure shit, I have autism at 3, and that's how I found out.
So
And
I'm,
then-
I'm sure at that young of an age that you don't really know what it means when they say that you have autism. What age did you actually kind of gain a little bit of an understanding of what
that's
autism
a really
meant?
good question. I would say about 5th or 6th grade, because by that time, everybody's maturing, going to junior high. You like girls and, you like people, you know what I mean? You find what you like at that age.
Yeah.
There was a girl I used to like. She didn't like me, obviously. So that really hurt. And like I get emotionally like attached to things, like feelings and people, and like I was really hurt because like she was like, ew, I don't like you, you're ugly. Ooh. And I was like, oh, why don't you go shave that mustache? And I walked away.
Oh no.
And I was the bad guy because
Right.
she was like, oh, crying in class, and everybody was like, oh my God, you're so mean.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if I'm ugly, trim up. Sorry. And then that's when I found out, like, I have no filter at that point.
Right.
I
right.
was like,
Gotcha.
I said what I said.
Yeah.
Do I regret it? She kind of had it coming, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But at that point, that's when I was like, maybe I am a little different from everybody else because
Yeah.
nobody else would have said that. They just would have cried. I did
Right.
cry eventually. I
Yeah.
went home and cried. But that's when I found out that I am different from you because I'm not going to I'm going to say what I say and without realizing, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Right.
Yeah.
Too late, already blurted, been there, done
Yeah.
that. Another thing was when I was in, I think it was 8th grade. Same situation, liked a girl. She didn't like me. And then this dude tried to fight me over her, and I was like, this ain't even
man.
worth it, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm not a fighter. I tried walking away, and then out of nowhere I get hit in the back of the head. Oh man, I tell you what, I've never, and you know what they say, tism strength, it's strong.
Yeah.
It's super strong.
Yeah.
And when you have tism strength, you black out and you don't realize what you did until you wake up from it and you're like, what'd I do?
What does that mean?
Tism strength.
Yeah.
It means I'm not gonna say the word.
Yeah.
It's just you realize that you're strong
Mm-hmm.
without you're stronger than the normal person. You're pretty bulky. You're pretty strong, but you're stopping me side, but you don't have the tism strength. That's a whole that's
Like the-
old
like
that's
the
old man,
adrenaline rush.
that's old man strength.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Yeah.
when you hit a certain age, old man strength, you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
leave that guy alone.
Okay.
Old
kinda like
man
an
strength and
adrenaline
tism strength are
rush
very
almost,
similar. Tism strength is a little up there.
You just like black out until like.
You black out and you rage, and then when you wake up, you're like,
I've had
What'd I
that
do?
before.
Okay.
"What I do? What I
Yeah.
do? Like what happened?" And like you start shaking, you start freaking out, and nobody knows why you're freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
you're
what
like,
instance have you had that happen to you? Like in that moment when you got hit in the back of
in
the
that
head?
moment, and then there was another time in high school. This
Yeah.
was I told myself at that point that was the last fight I'll ever get in.
Okay.
I was a junior in high school. Me and my buddy got into it after football practice. He punched me in the chest, and all I remember is looking at my hands, red.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
And I guess what happened was there's like a locker that had a little spike in it.
Uh-oh.
I don't even remember that locker specifically. It was on the right side of the room. All I remember is going
Oh no.
at least 10 times
Oh my
right here on his head.
gosh.
And he gets all dizzy. And I'm like, when I step back and I look, just red.
Oh man.
And I told myself in my brain, that is the last time. It was 7 years later. It happened again.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's
this is
gonna
the last time you will ever use your hands for violence.
Okay.
And it lasted 7 long
Hey,
years.
that's a good amount of time.
It was a
Yeah.
good long time. And then that happened. I walked home. My dad's like, what's wrong? And like, I just had a meltdown. Like, oh my God. He's like, dude, calm down. What happened? I'm like, I told him what happened. And you walked away? They could like reported you and you walked away from like a crime scene. You can't do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And basically, the athletic trainer basically said what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room.
Oh, wow.
So I got
Lucky.
away with it. Am I proud I got away with it? No, I should have been kicked off the team, not play it again.
Right.
But, that didn't happen. But the coach that next day, he defended Kyler, the guy I beat up, and he was like, if you hit my varsity players again, you're kicked off the team. And I was
Right.
all, respectfully, he started it.
Yeah.
I defended myself. If you feel that way, protecting your varsity players.
Yeah.
And I don't need to be on this team
There you go.
because I'm not going to defend myself and then I'm the one to get blamed.
Yeah.
Sorry, coach.
Right.
That's how I work. And he goes, you're done for today. Please remove your helmet and go home. I said, okay, got you. He got fired the next day. They
Wow.
fired him the next day.
Really?
They fired him and the whole coaching staff at the end of the season.
Whoa.
Because I told them, like, that's pretty much you're favoring one person over the other when the other person initiated it.
Right.
And I'm disabled, so, like, I'm not going to not do anything. And they're like, okay, what do you want us to do? And I said, whatever you feel is necessary, because I do not feel comfortable on any of the coaching staff.
Oof. That's so
All
cool.
gone. All gone.
So I've kind of learned a little bit about autism over the years. I actually applied for a job a little while ago to be a I don't know the specific term for it, but those who like the autism schools around here, like the
caretaker
teachers.
type thing?
Yeah, I applied to do that because kids with autism very much interest me in the form of I've seen a lot of them have the specialties.
Yeah.
And you kind of touched on that a little bit, and I want to kind of dive a little bit into that. You said about the photographic memory and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I actually have a friend of mine whose little brother, he's probably no more than 7 or 8, but he's at the point to where he's completely coding his own games and completely able to he's the biggest tech wizard I've ever seen.
That is awesome.
And it is absolutely incredible. There's another show, I don't know if you've seen it, it's called Scorpion. But it's these group of
Who's that?
autistic.
I've seen that actually.
Yeah, have you? It's a really good show. You need to see it too. But basically, like all these people that specialize in something. There's an engineer that can build anything. There's a tech person. There's pretty much.
There's like a love relationship.
Yeah,
on that
yeah.
show, right? Yeah, the one guy goes and picking up the social cues.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't remember his name, but he wasn't picking it up. The other girl was like, "Well, I like
Yeah.
you," and like he was like, "Okay."
Right.
He wasn't picking up until it
So-
was too late.
with you specifically, you mentioned a little bit of a photographic memory. I'm kind of curious as to if you might have some specialties in,
Like how I remember things.
yeah, if there's any specific things that you remember, because I know that like with photographic memory, it can be a very wide spectrum. There's certain things that you can remember really well. There's other things you might not really be able to remember. Some people can do all the countries in the world. Some people can do all the cities. Some people can do. I met one kid who could do roller coasters. He knows every single roller coaster in the United States, how fast it goes, the size of it, what year it was built.
Right.
It's incredible.
I'm not like anything like that. Or I am more like. So there's an incident where we had a little kickback type situation. There were 3 people that walked in. They walked in like 3 seconds in line, and I was like getting every detail down. Each one of them, 3 each about 6'2", all wearing black. One had curly hair, 2 white kids, Hispanic dude, black hoodie. One had a backpack. One was wearing sweatpants. One was wearing jeans. All their shoes are black laces. One of the white kid with the curly hair and blue eyes. Just like certain things like that, I remember about people.
Okay.
Because there's situations where you don't know who they are or what they bring,
Right.
or what they have on them, and that's helpful to me. It's very helpful. So I remember like people, faces, and places.
Okay.
So every year there's this place in Sedona called Banjo Bill. I go to with my grandma. I haven't gone in the past 3 years because she's really sick right now. So Banjo Bill, you go up the 89A from Sedona to Flag. It's a back road. If you ever go there, it is very
I haven't
beautiful.
been.
You
never
haven't?
No.
do
You
the
used to live in
Oak Creek
Flagstaff.
Canyon.
Wait,
It's the
what's
Oak
it
Creek
called?
Canyon, the 89A.
From Flagstaff to
Oh
Sedona.
no, yeah, I've been through the 89A.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
so gorgeous.
Yeah.
It is so gorgeous. 2
Yeah.
trails I recommend there is Banjo Bill. If you get there early enough, West Fork.
Yeah.
That one sounds
The
familiar.
Yeah.
West Fork Trail. I never finished it because my grandma couldn't finish it, so I don't want to finish it without her.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, West Fork Trail is one of the most beautiful trails I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
That's
I've seen
awesome.
pictures of it. I've never been.
It is gorgeous. You need to do it. And there are like apples, like they have wild apple trees out there.
Wow.
Those apples are so much better than the apples at the store. I'm telling you.
I
Apples
bet.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I bet.
the green apples they have out there. Oh, so good. They're
Yeah.
much. You pick them right off the tree. So good. I love the green apples out there. And that's like another thing. I remember too is like certain things that we did out there.
Yeah.
Certain events that happened, and then I just fucking, excuse my French, I just put them together. You know what I mean? That's photographic memory to me. That's how
Yeah.
I use it, is by people and events and where I'm at.
Okay.
So have you ever been to Mount Lemon in Tucson?
I've heard of it, but I haven't been.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
literally, you start at the bottom is the desert, and you get to the top of the mountain. You're like, am I in like Flagstaff or like Pine
Yeah.
Top right now?
Right. They have a
It's
ski
all-
resort.
It is all 7, what's it called? All 7 habitats of Arizona.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
one mountain range.
That's cool.
That's
It's
awesome.
beautiful. It's so beautiful. I remember doing that. Also remember hiking Devil's Bridge.
Oh,
During
yeah.
a rainstorm.
Ooh, that's fun.
I've been to
So,
Devil's Bridge.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
It's gorgeous. So I get to the top of Devil's Bridge. I look out and I go, that's a rainstorm rolling in. And like I'm walking back to the car. This was like 5-6 years ago. It's all the Sedona rainstorms are violent. They don't want to say go, they don't stop.
That's true.
And I get to the car, I'm all,
Oh, yeah.
my grandma goes, what's wrong? I'm all, I'm stuck in the rainstorm and it's so cold. Can you please turn on the heater? Man, it was so cold, but the pictures were beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
beautiful. So back to photographic memory before I get sidetracked. That's how my photographic memory works, is events, people, and places.
That's
People
gonna be really
remember
good.
like random facts like roller coasters or
Yeah.
Yeah.
that. I can't do that. I don't even know half the cities in the United States. I don't even
Yeah.
know the cities in Arizona, maybe California. That's about it. I
Right.
ain't gonna lie to you, but
Well, I think it's better that you have that gift because, like, when you get older, you'll be able to remember your grandma, like,
yeah,
clearly.
I tell
and-
my kids, like, this is what we did, where
Yeah.
we go, and like, I'll know exactly where I go to one place and I know where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's what's cool too. Like I remember like certain landmarks on the way there.
So you can always
I'll be
get
like,
home
yeah.
too, probably.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
Like I only been here one time. He'll ask me where am I going. I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
We take Alma School Road. He goes south. I don't remember what street we're on exactly, but I'll figure it out eventually on my
Yeah.
own. Like those certain landmarks.
Yeah.
I remember.
That's really cool.
So I know that obviously you were diagnosed at a young age, so you've had some experience with life and dealing with autism.
Yeah.
How easy is it for you now to either build or maintain relationships, whether it is friendship or romantic? Is there certain things that people need to be aware of beforehand, or is it kind of just a go with the flow type of deal?
That is a really good question. It just depends. I mean, now I'm like, if you're my friend, that's awesome. Like, I'm not gonna be the circus idiot I was back in high school. A lot of friends I lost because of that, and I was like, you weren't really my friend the whole time.
Right.
You were just using me for your laughter, which is fine. You know, goodbye, later.
Right.
Yeah.
Relationship wise, like there's a girl I'm with now, her name is Monica, and like when I got dumped before COVID, I told myself I'm not dating a single soul ever. I'm not going to that heartbreak ever again.
Right.
And then I met this girl, Monica, and then, you know, it was a Tinder thing. You know, Tinder, how that rolls. I'm not going to go into detail about that. But, you know, everything happened. And then the first time she was like, hey, are you hungry? And I go, what? She said, are you hungry? And I go, that's a trick question? She goes, no, like, what do you want to eat? And I go, I don't know what's there. She goes, let's go to Hungry Howie's. I didn't pay for a penny. She paid for everything, the food, the drinks. I just drove her and threw her back. That's all I did. She paid for everything. And, like, no one has, like, done that in a long time.
Yeah.
Like normally I always pay for everything, or I expect she's giving me gas money. I didn't even ask her.
Yeah.
She's like, here's $20.
Good
There you go.
person.
And I was like, no, you need this for the kids more than I do. So you
Yeah.
take it back. You know that mom look.
Yeah.
You better take that money.
Right.
I go,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am. She out of the car. I stuffed it back in her purse.
Yeah,
Just
good.
kidding. I didn't spend it. I was gonna use it for gas, but I was like, nah, she needs it more than I do. The third date, you know, Tinder thing. She goes, do you want canes? And I go, in my brain, I go, canes is expensive.
Yeah.
Like, that is an expensive meal. And I said, sure, I'll drive you to Canes. Not expecting to get anything, just for her and her kids.
Yeah.
So we go in line, and she goes, what do you want? And I go, huh? She goes, what do you want to eat? Me, being the cheap, non-expensive boyfriend, I go, I'll get a 3-piece. 3-piece with a small drink. She looks at me with the mom look. She goes, I know you.
Yeah.
You work hard. You're going to eat that 3-piece in 5 seconds and still be hungry.
Yeah.
What do you want to eat?
Yeah.
And I said what I said. I said a kidney egg with no sauce, no slaw, extra sauce, and a large lemonade, no ice. That's what she ordered me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
She's taking care of
I
you.
was like, I've never felt this love before. I need this. And she sit at the wall, not chiseling it, taking a sledgehammer.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
and broke it down.
Like, no one, I told myself, like, when I got done, I'll never fall in love again. This woman made me feel appreciated and cared for and respected
Yeah.
more than anybody.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like besides family, like this is someone that I've never met before.
Yeah.
If they treated me good, if not better than some of the people that are my own family,
Right.
which is insane to me. And I was like, I think I love you. She goes, I love you too. And I'm like, I'm not crying, you're crying. I'm like, come on. And then we told each other that, and like we've been together ever since. Yeah, we've been on and off here and there, 'cause, you know, she has kids, and like, you know, we just things happen in life. You don't
Right.
see each other every day. I love her to death.
Yeah.
I would do anything for that woman. And
That's
like
amazing.
the whole relationship thing, she is literally like the puzzle piece that was ripped out, and she took it and was like, "That's what you need.
I love
I'm here. That's what you need." And that's all I needed in life was her. Like I don't need anybody else.
Yeah.
She's the one. Like we have a 1-year-old together. I love her so much. And like the other 3 kids aren't mine. They're not mine. They're not my blood. But I told her, like, I would treat your kids like they are my own. And there's a text on my phone, which I don't need right now. It pretty much says that, I know you will, babe. When I first met you, I knew that was the man that I'd fall in love with. I love you from the bottom of my heart, and we will do this together. When she said that, I was like, "That's the most beautiful
You're gonna
thing
make me
ever."
cry.
I
now.
know,
Like,
I'm not
that's
even,
all I
like
fucking want.
crying. Like I'm telling her like that when she said that, and like she didn't say it like it's my son, it's your son.
Yeah, it's ours.
She goes, "It's our, it's a we, it's us."
Such a perfect match.
That's a unity thing.
Yeah.
You don't find that in people.
No.
You don't mostly like, oh, it's your fault that your son acts like that. It's fault that your son's, because my son's high functioning like me. I just found out
Oh, really?
he's high functioning. He tested him. Yeah, he's high functioning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, noted. I'll help him out. And then like, yeah. So
So is autism genetic then?
I don't know.
I don't know
answer.
that either.
I
For
don't
that,
answer.
Should we look
that's
that up?
That's the
we
problem.
can.
Let's look
It's,
that up.
it's
That's the
very
problem
hit or
because
miss
it's
type
this-
of thing.
Yeah.
It can be genetic,
Right.
but no one has really confirmed that because
Okay.
it's a wide spectrum.
Right.
So it has
There's-
a strong genetic component.
Okay.
It's not necessarily Its estimates suggest that genetics contribute to about 40 to 90% of the risk for developing.
40 to 90%.
So
Yeah, see, that's a big jump,
Yeah.
40 to 90.
it's a very
yeah.
complex answer.
Right, yeah.
So
Like
thank you for
chromosomes.
confirming that because I had no clue it was genetic. I just thought it
Right.
was just random draw. You have
Right.
autism. You don't.
Right.
You do. You don't. But
Interesting.
now I know it's a 40 to 90 is a big jump. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong.
Yeah.
But there's still that 40 to 90% chance that you might have it. So
Yeah.
thank you for confirming that.
course.
I had no clue.
So being someone with autism yourself, what kind of challenges do you face in the parenthood realm then?
Oh, man.
Like parenthood as him being a dad or
Yeah.
from his parents?
Well, we'll start with you being a dad because I know that a lot of people have their own opinions possibly on
So, with me being a parent, that's a tough one because I was like, I'm not gonna hit my kid. I'm not hitting. I'm not gonna be that abusive person. That's not good. That's not what happened to me, and I'm not gonna do that to them because no, it's not fair to them. It's not fair to no kid to be told or hit because they did something wrong.
Right.
What you do is you pull them aside. You go, hey, why did you do that? And then they explain their part of the story, and you go, well, maybe instead of acting out in that way, you teach them a different way on how to behave and correct it in a
Calmly.
formal manner,
Yeah.
in a professional manner. Because hitting your kid doesn't solve anything.
Yeah.
That just makes them, oh well,
Act out more.
act
Or,
out
like,
more,
hide things more.
act out more, and they hide the truth from you, and they're scared of you. They're scared to tell you things.
Yeah.
We need to use
You're not
violence. We
biting.
need to use violence.
Yeah.
Violence makes kids terrified of their parents.
Right.
So
Is there any type of professional help that you get with learning how to
Like,
parent and stuff?
no, but I probably should. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like all
honestly,
parents need
Yeah.
professional help. kind of thing.
honestly, because being a parent is fucking difficult.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing, especially having not one, but 4 kids. The other 3 aren't mine. I only have 1. But with 4 kids, it's just, that's hard, especially with the other 3 that are much older and they never had a father
Oh, yeah.
around. That's the thing that they need. And that's what I'm telling my lady is that I'm going to step up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be that person that they need. They may not want it.
Yeah.
They may be like, oh, you're not my dad. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's going to hurt when they say it the first time.
Yeah.
It's going to break my soul.
But
Which
it's gonna warm your soul when they do
prepared.
it.
I'm prepared to take that step.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Like, I've been ready. You know, I want
Yeah.
to be there for all of them. I do. And I will be.
Yeah.
I'm not going nowhere. She's not going nowhere. We're a unit, man. Me and Monica are a unit, and we're gonna be together forever. I'm telling you that right now.
How old are all the kids?
9, 6, 2 to 3, and 1. The first 2 born are girls. The last 2 born are boys.
So I'm guessing at least the 9 and maybe the 6-year-old are somewhat familiar with you having autism. Do you?
I don't think they are.
No?
I never told them. You know,
Okay.
maybe mom has. I haven't said anything to them because like
It's just normal life.
just normal life.
Yeah.
Like the way I see it is like
There's nothing wrong.
there's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with him. Nothing wrong with her.
Yeah.
We're all normal people. We all
That
got the
makes
same
sense.
Yeah.
same heart, same brain, same
Yeah.
blood in our veins. We just view things different, and we're more emotionally attached than you might be or you might be.
Yeah.
You know, just how it is. And I'm not gonna be like, no, you can't do that. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, yes, I am different from your mom, from you. But that still doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be capable of doing the same exact thing that your mom did, the same exact thing
Absolutely.
that you do. I'm still gonna be there.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
yeah, I may see things a little different. I may take things a little more seriously. I may be more emotionally attached to things. That doesn't mean I still love you nonetheless.
Yeah.
Love none of them nonetheless.
Yeah.
So
That's incredible. Honestly, respect that a lot because even parents that don't have autism don't show a lot of that same respect and stuff to their children. So the fact that you've been able to develop that mentality, to me, is just incredible.
thank you.
It's awesome that you look at them even with that same respect that you look at your own child. I know plenty of step parents that come into the picture and
They're just evil.
they look at that child and say, that child, it didn't come from me, so it's not mine. So the fact that you're able to step up in that role,
Dude,
it's amazing.
thank you so
Yeah.
much. Because I know step parents that are just,
Yeah.
they're evil.
Yeah.
They favor their own blood better than the other ones.
Yeah.
How were
I've seen it happen. Like, it's not fair. It's not fair.
we touched on it a tiny bit, but how was your family and your parents towards you growing up with autism? Were they really understanding, or were they not?
It's a flip of the coin. There were like, as I got older, like when I was younger, they were like, oh, he's just different, you know, like he has this thing. When I got older, it was more like, you know what you have, you know what you're doing, you just gotta deal with it. They got more like, not heartless, I would say, but more like, you are getting older, we can't do this every time when this happens. Like, you have to like be an adult.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready to be an adult.
Yeah.
You know, I had a job at 17 years old in high school.
Really?
I didn't get a junior or senior summer. I worked from 17 to 27. Like, that's 10 years just gone. And now that I'm not working, I don't have a job right now. You know, I need to get one, obviously. Yeah. But I don't know. They just feel like I'm not taking life seriously. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I had a job junior year in high school. I went to a football practice in the morning. I went to work. I didn't get to go hang out with my buddies and go do dumb stuff. I had to work because you guys told me, oh, well, you have to work because, you know, we do the same thing. I'm not you guys.
Right.
You're not me.
Yeah.
I don't want to work till I'm 70 years old and not feel like I'm still have to work. You know, like I want to live a little bit. I didn't get to live high school. I didn't get to live college. I had to work every day.
Right.
I didn't get to have fun like everybody else
Yeah.
did.
Right.
Now that I'm having fun, they're like, well, you should do it when you're younger.
Oh, wow.
I said, how?
Yeah.
How could I have done it younger when I worked?
Yeah.
At 17 years old, I didn't get time to experience things. Because all I thought about was, oh, mom and dad said I have to work. I have to go to work. My friends were like, hey, what are you doing, bro? I'm at work. They're all, what? I'm all, yeah, I can't go camping this weekend. I gotta go to work on Monday at 4 a.m. in the morning. They're all, bro, like, you're gonna waste your life away for this job. And I
Yeah.
feel like I did.
Right.
I wasted 10 years of my life because that's what I was told to do.
Yeah.
Did you have any specific career aspirations when you were
Oh man, I wanted to be a nature photographer.
a nature photographer?
Yeah, so
Me too.
my
Yeah.
grandma,
I wanted to recommend to you.
my grandma actually got me into photography. She's the one when I got my first camera when I was 14. It was all like little DSL, not DSL, like digital camera.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
That's really good. Then a couple years passed. I got a DSLR. It was a Canon Rebel T6. With an
Oh, I know that one.
Then
I had a
with
T2.
with the detachable lenses, touchscreen, everything. And then I don't know, like I told them what I wanted to do, and my mom and dad were like, "Well, you're not gonna make any money doing
Yeah.
that. You're not gonna like succeed."
Right.
And I was like, "Well, what? What do you want me to do then? Because I don't know what I want to do. Like this is what I want to do, and you tell me this."
Right.
And they're like, "Go to school, do what your sister's doing." And my sister is a freaking genius.
Yeah.
She has a master's degree in psychology and is like a licensed therapist.
Oh, cool.
Oh wow.
And they're like, "Do that." And then the other side, I was like, "I'll be like your younger brother, who makes 80 to 100K doing AC." And I'm like, "So you want me to just copy them? You don't want me to follow my own path?" And they
Right.
go, "Whatever you choose, I guess, but you can't be a nature photographer because everybody's done it. Everybody
Yeah.
takes that shot." And
Do
I'm
your
like,
siblings have autism as well, or is it just you?
"No, it's just me.
Okay.
It was just my sister got lucky, my brother got lucky." But
Why do you think that you listened to your parents in that scenario?
just because that was all I knew
Yeah.
at the time, like I wanted to make them proud,
Yeah.
and I didn't like want to disappoint them.
Right.
So because they're a big influence, so I just
Yeah.
worked. Instead of me pursuing my nature photography dream, I dropped out of college
Really?
and I just worked and worked and worked. There was a Saturday, I was 21. It was a Saturday at the job. I get there at 2:30 in the morning on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm 21. I want to
I've
live.
done the same thing.
I want to live. I want to have fun. You know what time I left that night?
11 p.m.
11:30.
Oh, I was
Ooh,
close.
you were close.
I was
Dang.
11:30 at night. From 2:30 to 11:30 at night, I worked. It was me and one other person. I'll tell you what. From that day, I said I will never do that again.
Yeah.
I will quit after 8 hours.
Right.
And they go, what? And I go, I'm 21 years old. I need to live. I've worked here for 4 years already. I only make $15 an hour.
Right.
And you want me to work from 2:30 in the morning to 11:30 at night on a Saturday?
Right.
Sundays, the only day I got off, which I got to sleep. And then I had to come back on Monday at 4 a.m.
Yeah. It's wasting your life away.
Yeah.
You can't
Thank you.
do anything.
I did that for 10 years.
Yeah.
I get there at 4 a.m. and I wouldn't leave 6, 7 at night.
What kind of job was this?
Oh, man. It was a warehouse job.
Okay.
So you see all your appliances behind you?
Yeah.
That's what I dealt with.
Oh, man.
Oh,
All
And
day
like
long.
we didn't get a forklift.
No.
We weren't allowed to have a forklift. You know what we had to use? A 4-wheeled industrial dolly.
Oh, man. At
And
least
then-
you had that, though.
Yeah, at least we had that, right?
At least you didn't have to just carry it yourself.
Oh no, I've done that before too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had the picture still. There's an oven. It's a JBS 10, black on black. That's the model. B and B, black on black. So it's a light range. It's not heavy.
Yeah.
So I'm carrying it on my shoulder.
Oh my
A big giant
Oh
range.
my
You're like, what are you
gosh.
doing? I'm like, there's no dolly around. How else do you want me to
Yeah.
pull stuff around? We were short on dollies that day.
Yeah.
I was carrying these appliances. I was carrying that. Dishwashers, you carry like this. The other dishwasher on your neck and your back.
Oh my god, that's awful.
Microwaves you carry. Like,
Does your back hurt now?
oh. My shoulder hurted doing that right now. So no, not today. My back doesn't hurt as much. It
Yeah.
probably will hurt the next year or two.
Yeah.
I did that for 10 years. Just being, again, autism strength. You know,
Right.
just showing off. Probably wasn't smart.
Yeah.
You know, there were days when they were like, piggyback this range.
Yeah.
I go, and it's a heavy one. This one was the ones that go on the wall. They're not the ones on the ground. They're on the wall. They're
Yeah.
the double door ones.
Oh, okay.
They are hefty. It was a J. See, again, photograph memory. A JT 5000 was the model. Double door, and they're all. Can you carry this from there to here? And I was
Yeah.
like, why do you want me to do that?
Right.
And they're all.
Yeah. just 'cause
do we
you
need
can't.
you
Yeah.
to move it? So I was
So
like,
what made you quit? Like you said, you don't have a job right now. Like what made that decision? And like what are
when
you
I was
doing now?
when I was 27, why I quit the warehouse job?
Yeah.
I didn't quit.
Oh,
I got
really?
to go.
Oh really?
10-year reunion.
No.
But it was so. I started in July of 2013, July 2013, May or July, June, one of those months. Anywho, they let me go on August of 2023, 4, I don't remember, 10 years later. And the reason why was, I admit it was my fault. Long story short, my cousin called my mom the C word, and I had that blackout moment. That's when I said.
Really?
That's when I said that 10, like that 7, like that
years
10-year later moment. It came out.
Did you do it at work or what?
Yeah.
Oh really?
It was
Okay.
at work. It was on camera.
Oh really?
Everybody saw.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I justified for me. I don't like. I love my mom. We have our moments, but you don't call her that.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't call you that. I don't call your family that. Respectfully, do not call my mother that.
Right.
Absolutely.
Your mother is a. Before you got the part,
Blackout.
I blacked. I punched him. I threw his shirt over his head like a hockey player. Bing, bing, bing. Took him to the ground. He tried to punch me on the ground. I dodged it.
Yeah.
I remember because we worked with ex-convicts there. Like our job was anybody can work there.
Yeah.
It took 5 ex-convicts to get me off it.
Wow.
And like I'm not trying to brag, like that's really like terrible. But at the same time, respectfully, don't test me.
Yeah.
Don't test me if it takes 5 ex-convicts to get me off of you. Why you keep talking?
Right.
Like, just shut up.
Yeah.
And then like they got me off. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like,
no.
let me go. And they were like, 4 of them had me wrapped up. I was like, let me go. They're like, no, we can't let you go. And I got thrown out front. And I remember this moment because my hands are cut up.
Oh,
My
yeah.
fingers because I was gripping the dock door on the side to put down, and there's a metal slicer in there. I'm grabbing that as I'm pulling myself towards him. I'm getting pulled back, so my fingers get sliced open right there and like somewhere down there. I don't remember, but I remember that. I remember I let go and just
Ugh.
it was awful. I looked like a wild animal that day. I don't like looking like that at all.
Right, yeah.
I hate it.
Is that your only job?
No,
How many jobs have you
2.
had? 2?
2.
Okay.
Both warehouse jobs. The other job I had was Southwest Products.
Okay.
I love that job too. Got let go for terrible reasons. But this is a roommate. That's why I learned you don't work with your roommates. You don't work with your friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they will find ways to screw you over.
Yep.
So my roommate was saying some stuff behind my back. I wasn't there. I'm not gonna go into too much detail on that. That was on Friday. On that Monday, I come back And it goes, my boss goes, at 6 a.m., I need you in my office. Okay, what's going on? He goes, either you quit or police are getting involved. Everybody's getting tested. And I'm like, well, I'm not getting my coworkers fired. They've been here 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So
you
respectfully,
took
I will just quit. And I didn't get unemployment because, when you quit, you get unemployment.
Yeah,
It was
right.
like their way of not paying me.
Right.
Right.
That was their little gotcha,
Manipulation.
manipulation tactic. Like, we ain't paying you. Goodbye. And I was like, damn. I love that job.
Yeah.
That job
Yeah.
was fun. I was forklift certified. I was fire extinguisher certified.
Wow.
That job was so much fun.
Has-
For my roommate to do that to me was terrible.
So you mentioned earlier that you had like the potential for like full ride scholarships.
Yeah.
Have you ever wanted to go back to school? Then?
Oh, I don't even know if it's still active, so I don't know if that scholarship would even apply.
Oh yeah.
But if it does, you bet you, I would love to go back to school.
Yeah. What would you go to school for?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I would just get my regular classes out the way
Yeah.
just to do it, and then just figure it out.
Would you ever try photography?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would love to do photography again. I loved going to those classes and learning how to edit photos and stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun, so
Yeah.
much fun. Just when I went to college the first time, I didn't know what I was doing, and I paid out of pocket for classes, so I had no student loans.
Yeah.
Thank you. no student debt, none of that. That's lovely.
Yeah.
So I pay out of pocket every semester. Like, dude, how you getting all this money? And I'm all, work. They're all, true. There was 1 year I went to college. It was my second semester. So you have communications 100, which is like introductory to talking to people pretty much.
Yeah.
The next semester, the dude goes, yeah, glasses. You're pretty smart. I'm like, you need a communications class. And I go, yeah, we're getting that. We're putting you in COM 263.
Oh wow.
And I barely did COM 100.
Yeah, you skipped
Yeah.
over a few.
So if you, about 163 of them. He put me in COM 263, which is communications to intercultural people. So
Okay.
talking to different cultures.
Oh, interesting.
That class sucked.
I bet.
It
That'd
was
be
I didn't know
hard.
it was the second communications class I did. A teacher I had, she taught at Oregon State, and she was teaching and we were at Oregon State. It's a community college. We are not at Oregon State. Why are you teaching us like this? I just stopped going. I stopped going in that class because I was like, I'm not gonna go here because
fit.
it doesn't fit me. Why you put me in a class I have glasses and I look smart?
Yeah.
That's kind of a ridiculous thing to put someone from 100 to 263. Excuse
Right.
me, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you going to be a counselor and you're going to do that?
Right. Yeah.
I know one of the big things with autism in general is overstimulation, and it's easy to have overstimulation. Is there specific things for you that can trigger overstimulation? And if so, what does that overstimulation look like for you?
So, when I'm overstimulated, is when we're at a little party or a get together type thing, and I don't know everybody there, and then I'm sitting in the corner and just twiddling my thumbs or doing this. So, when I do that, there's a friend I know. Her name is Jordan. She's really nice, and she used to have these AirPod Maxes and the headphones. Super awesome lady. And she'd be like, hey, do you need these? You're overstimulated. I'm like, yes, please. And I would just put them on. And they have that thing we don't hear nothing but the
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
And I sit there for hours just watching movies or jamming out. Just being me.
Yeah.
Not caring about the world because I'm overstimulated. And that's when there's 20, 30 people in this little tiny apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot for me.
And I'm
too. I
like-
couldn't do it.
I'm wigging out, man. I
Yeah.
need some music. I need something to stop stimulating. And
I would have to leave the room
Yeah.
I couldn't.
And if I leave the room, then it looks like, oh, why is he leaving? Everybody goes after me.
Right.
And I'm like, you don't know what's going on in my brain. Please just go back inside the room.
Right.
So that's why she would give me the AirPods. So
That
I
makes
can
sense.
just. So I'm still in the room, but I'm like not in the room
Right.
because I'm in my own element. And that's what I loved about Jordan, because Jordan knew what would happen when that would happen. Like, she knew you're overstimulated. Take the AirPods. You're good.
Yeah.
And I was
Is
sitting there
nice.
for like 3 to 4 hours just jamming out.
Is there like certain music or certain things that can help soothe you when you are overstimulated?
Yeah. So, Jurassic Park.
Oh
is
yeah.
the first one.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
the first dinosaur movie I've ever seen. Will never stop watching it.
Love it.
The first animated Lion King is one of them.
I was just about to say Lion King is me all day.
Banger right
Another one
there.
is the animated Lion King is
Yep.
another one. Robin Hood, animated Robin Hood, animated
Nice.
Fox and the Hound, the first one.
Yeah.
Then
Nice.
you got Brother Bear, you got Treasure Planet,
Yeah, I love
you
Treasure
got Atlantis.
All
you know,
bangers.
You got,
All bangers.
you got good movies, you know. And I just like
Yeah.
Just like nostalgic.
there's
things.
memories. Those are good memories when those came out because I was younger. You
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
enjoyed watching those movies. Like, why would I not enjoy them?
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
primarily movies that can help
And
soothe-
music too. Music is more aggressive. The music is more aggressive, but
Yeah.
it's like,
What kind of music soothes you?
oh, dude, I don't even know. It depends. Like Metallica, like old school Metallica, or like
Okay.
Soulfly, or Megadeth. All
That's
these bands right
interesting.
there, dude. Look, all those bands.
Yeah.
All soothing. It's weird. Like they're all evil. Like no people like those aren't soothing. Those would make you rage.
I was gonna say that's
That's
interesting.
complete opposite.
That's
I'm
Yeah.
like,
stimulating in the opposite way.
Yeah.
like I don't know what it is, but like sitting there just doing my thing. I don't care what anybody else thinks. That's how I de-escalate how I feel.
Yeah.
And like everybody's like, dude, if that was me, I'd be raging. I'm like, it's the complete opposite for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't have that, I'm raging. But if I have it, I'm like, oh, inner peace.
So
That's
with
what I
that, like
needed.
that makes me think of Adderall, right? Do you like? Is there like medication that you
So
should take as an autistic person?
I take Abilify. Right.
I take Abilify too.
It's an antipsychotic, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. Like, I didn't even know they're an antipsychotic. So I applied to my second job. And I go, I take Abilify. And they go, stop. We need to get you tested for psychotic behaviors.
What?
Really?
And I go,
This
What do
doesn't
you-
mean you're psychotic.
and I go, what are you talking about? They said, well, Abilify is antipsychotic. We had a person here that took Abilify, and they went crazy. So because that happened, people that are on antipsychotic medicine have to get tested for psychosis. And I go, sure, why not? I don't seem crazy. You know what I mean? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You would think I'd be crazy.
Right.
That's what a crazy person will say. But, you know, it's whatever. So I got tested. I passed. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Adderall, I've never taken it my whole life.
Okay.
Really?
I've never done. I prescribed it. I've never taken it.
Really?
Yeah, because I've seen people take it and they just like, they just turn into zombies. You know, they're not
Yeah.
living. They're just like, you know, whatever.
That's what my roommate told me when I started taking Abilify.
Oh, me, Abilify has no effect on me. Abilify just like, I take it to sleep.
Yeah.
That's it. I take it an hour before bed. I wake up. I'm all, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
My mom's like, you don't need Adderall. It's not good for you.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, if I don't need it and I'm prescribed it, where is it going?
Right.
Right.
Where is it being like crumpled and thrown away? Is it being shredded? Like, I don't know. I'm not accusing nobody of anything.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I just need to know like where those prescriptions are going.
Right.
Because the doctor's filling these out. And Adderall is not a cheap medication.
No.
That shit's expensive. And because I got a call one day, oh, there's a shortage on Adderall. And I'm all, okay. I don't, okay. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And they go, you're not worried about it? And I go, no. And they go, oh, because most of our clients are tripping out we have a shortage. And I go, well, I'm not most of your clients. And I didn't tell them I never took it
Yeah.
before. They probably know now because of how I reacted to it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I just
Yeah.
don't like Adderall. It makes,
Right.
I never took it. It just. I seen people do it, and they just turn into like these society zombies.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair that like people with disabilities have to conform to what society, how society wants you to be.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be the other way around.
Right.
Society should be more accepting and more understanding to people that have disabilities.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
That's how I feel about it. Cause I'm tired of like hearing like people with disabilities always like, well, society wants me to do this, or society wants you to do that. Screw society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screw them. They should be like, oh, you have a disability, let me take care of you. Oh, let me do this for you. Let me do
Yeah.
that for you. Let society be there for you. Don't let the other way around.
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause
just not having
shouldn't-
education for it in general.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to change how you are
To fit.
because how the world wants you to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The world should change how you should be.
I feel like that's changing a little bit now.
And it is.
Oh, it absolutely
Yeah.
is.
It is,
It's really
absolutely.
nice.
Back in like when I first was growing up,
Yeah, it was like a no-go.
nope. Either you conform to society or you're different.
Right.
And now I feel like it's more accepting and people understand it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still more to understand about it.
Right.
But
How is
in
your
the-
life different now with autism than it was when you were younger?
Oh, how's it different? Well, it's different now because I know like how it is, how it works with me.
Yeah.
Back then, I didn't know. I was just trying to
Yeah.
find a good social group to be a part of.
Right.
You know, I was trying to fit in. You know, just trying to be a normal kid.
Yeah.
Now that I look back on it, I would have told myself, I can go back in time. I would have told myself, don't change who you are to fit in. They need to change who they are inside.
Yeah.
You are unique. You are special. You are smart. Do not be a circus idiot. Be you. If you want to do it, by all means, that's what you want to do. But I'm your future you. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Please don't do it. You are smart, special, kind, caring. Like you care about more people than your own self. And that's wonderful. That's a good trait to have. Keep those
Absolutely.
traits, but also at the same time, don't let these dirt bags walk all over you and make you feel like you belong somewhere when you know you don't.
Yeah.
You know you don't belong there, but you still do it because you feel accepted.
What are some of the biggest day-to-day challenges that you deal with today with having autism?
Like, I don't know, just like trying to like fit in still. You
Yeah.
know, trying to find that right group. Recently what happened was we went out to this Cobra arcade. There's just 32 girls that I know, and some dude walks up, hey, is he bothering you? And like at that moment, most people that I've hung out with, they don't say a thing. They just stand there and they drink their drink, and I gotta walk away. The girl that was there, I'm not gonna give out her name. She grabbed my shoulder. She knows who she is. Grabbed my shoulders and she goes, "He's with us. Go away. He's with us." And like when she did that, that made me feel accepted. Like, you know, because most people don't. Nobody has done that for me. And I told her like, no one has ever done that for me my whole entire existence as a person, and I appreciate you doing that. And like,
Absolutely.
you know, she kind of like, oh, you know. I was like, no, you don't know.
Yeah. It's important.
Are there any specific do's and don'ts when it comes to meeting someone with autism that you can, whether it's just speaking for yourself or for others? possibly?
Do's or don'ts. The do thing is to be accepting. Don't judge them. Let them don't judge us.
Yeah.
Don't but think that, oh well, they're autistic. They automatically think one thing. Most of us do.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie to you, most of us stem on one thing. But instead of you thinking it as a negative, think of it as a positive and build a relationship based on that stem. Don't think of it as like that's all we think about, because we don't.
Right.
Sometimes like we think like, oh well, I'm not gonna talk to that person because they think that I'm different, that I'm not on the same level as they are, so I'm not gonna go over there. I'm not gonna go talk to them. No. If you want to talk to somebody, go in and talk to them. Just don't judge them by how they react. That's all it is. It's reaction and responses, and most autistic people don't like to react. They don't like to talk to new people.
Yeah.
We hate it. We hate talking to new people. New people is like, no. Because you've noticed, I have not barely made eye contact this whole time, looking at the table, looking at the drinks.
I think you've done pretty good with it.
I've tried, like I'm trying to build my eye contact, but there's times I'll look at a table and answer the questions, I'll fiddle my fingers. That's certain things that we do to cope with what's going on.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like most of, like some don't even, they won't even look at you. They'll look at anything else but your eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to build on that. I want to make eye contact.
I was gonna say
but sometimes it's really
from my
hard to do.
experience with talking to others with autism, you are very good at keeping eye contact.
And
most.
I'm trying to build on that. I really am, because autism is like, eye contact is evil.
Right.
It's like we don't do that. Why are you doing that? You know what I
That's
mean?
one of my pet peeves, actually, is like when people don't
Make eye
look me in the
contact,
eyes.
because you feel like other things are more important
right,
than
and
what's
like,
going on in the room.
Who do you think like you are in a way? So that's
Well,
you know.
You like, look at me.
Yeah.
I am the captain now. I am talking to you.
Yeah.
Well,
You
it's
do not
'cause
make
we're-
eye contact. You know what I mean?
We're
Like,
taught at a very young age that to show respect
Yeah,
and to
right.
communicate is to look them in the eye and talk
that's
to them.
very difficult.
But now
So-
that's interesting to know, because I didn't really know anything about autistic people, and then if that's a difficulty for you guys, like
it's really,
not to
it's really
Do you know-
immediately jump to that.
Why it is difficult?
Like,
What's happening in the brain that makes it more difficult?
when I look people in the eyes, sometimes I feel like they're like, oh, I don't care about this conversation, or like I'm being judged by eye contact. Like new people specifically, I don't do eye contact. If I know you for a bit, like yes, I'll look you in the eyes, but it won't be for a really long time.
Yeah.
It'll be like a glance, I look down, glance,
Yeah.
glance, look up.
Yeah, I think that's normal.
But
Yeah.
That's, I
it
can't
is,
do that
it's like
either.
it's the most normal thing you can do. Like I'm not gonna look you in the eyes for the whole
That's weird.
conversation. You know that's a weird
It would
stuff.
make me
right there,
uncomfortable.
like-
I'd be like, okay,
You'd be like,
stop.
no, you look at me too much. Please look
Yeah.
at something else. Blink.
It's a
just
natural
blink.
balance that
At
you have
least
to learn.
blink. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have to think about it, like actively think about
Eye
giving it-
contact.
Yeah.
I do actually.
Yeah.
I do like.
I think about it.
I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to
Okay.
think about it, because like you said, at a young age, it's a respect thing. If you're not looking them in the eyes, then they don't feel like you're respecting them.
Yeah.
Especially older people. Older people,
Right.
especially, like, hey, right here.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so.
It gets hard for me too, because sometimes I'll tune out of a conversation just enough to realize that like I'm talking to somebody,
Yeah.
but what they're saying doesn't register with me, and so I have to kind of act like I'm still in the conversation.
Like,
So
oh, yeah,
sometimes it's
yeah,
looking,
sure.
and then there's different things. Like I've learned a lot in psychology that different things with communicating, like looking into the left eye, can be considered more endearing type of stuff. And
Really?
so a lot of times I'll just focus on the left eye just to be like, you know what? I don't know what you're saying right now, but I want to seem endearing enough that I
Yeah.
actually
That you actually
listen.
Yeah,
care
I do
about the
the same
conversation
thing,
going
actually. I'll
on.
stare someone straight in the eyes, and I will not listen to a word that they say.
Yeah.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
I've done it on my podcast before. Like, I'll out myself right now. I've had times that I'll be in a
Guilty.
podcast and I'll kind of tune out a little bit, but I'll catch the last few seconds of what they say.
Oh, wow, that's very
And then you can pick up on it.
interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
little
man.
It gets hard, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
That's funny.
well, that's awesome. I'm. It's really cool to kind of get to hear, because especially when it comes to the autism, I feel like it is one of the hardest things to learn about, because of the fact that
It's such a broad
there's so
spectrum.
there's so many different types of like the spectrum is so wide. There's different forms of it. Like you said, there's verbal, nonverbal. There's Asperger's. There's
high functioning, low
high
functioning. Well, people don't even like calling it that. It's called neurodivergent. I'm like, it's high functioning or low functioning.
Well, unless you are someone who is high functioning and who is verbal, to be able to talk to them and be able to ask them questions and stuff might not be a possible thing. And sometimes like you have to gear questions in a certain way that they're able to understand what you're saying. So it can be a little bit more difficult, especially to learn about someone specifically with autism, to learn what they like, what they don't like. A lot of times I've personally seen interactions with kids with autism, and immediately I'm like, stop. What you're doing is not helping them. You're treating them as if it's a different situation. Not that you need to treat them different, but communication needs to be a little bit different in order for them to absorb it.
Like how so?
More
like what example? Can you give me an example?
Like, say that they are doing an action that you don't like.
Yeah, okay.
Coming up to them and screaming at them saying, hey, stop doing that. For
Right.
them,
Make it worse.
that can immediately cause stimulation problems.
Overstimulation, yeah.
And, or like if they're, say, in the middle of a concert or anything like that, the freakouts that you see are not because they're just acting out. It's because of an overstimulation problem.
And like a lack of being able to calm them down.
Yeah. The way to be able to help them wouldn't be to sit there and scream, stop doing this, stop covering your ears, stop doing this. It would be take them out of the stimulation,
to
figure out a way to
comfort
calm them down.
Yeah, like go to their level and like,
And that's a big thing that I feel like should be a thing taught in early education in middle school, high school, especially because they mix these kids together. And not to say at all that they should separate any of the kids, but they should teach the other kids like, hey,
how to handle situations.
Yeah, there are these kids that have these disabilities that here's how you should handle it, because I have seen, unfortunately, bullying situations in something, and luckily, as I was growing up, it became the opposite, to where it was you see someone bullying one of the disability kids, the person bullying them gets their ass kicked pretty much, because it's like they can't stand up for themselves.
That's reasonable. I agree with like the Dark Knight thing.
Yeah,
like,
so that did become a relevant thing, but I do think that there does need to be a little bit more awareness as to like when you're seeing someone with autism, here's the do's and don'ts to do. Talk to them. Don't treat them a certain type of way. Don't come up to them and treat them like you're a 3-year-old, because obviously they're still a human being.
Yeah,
there just might be a different way you might have to communicate with them. And
approach them in a nice manner.
Yeah.
But not a nice manner that's belittling.
Yeah.
That's the hard balancing part, is like, don't treat them like a 3-year-old. They're still adults.
Right.
There was
just don't make them feel belittled either. Like, you gotta find that balance, and that's the hard part, is finding the right balance to talk to somebody with autism.
There was a specific example in the show that I was mentioning earlier, and it was really cool because although it's a show, it was a real depiction of what it could be, and it was the first scene in the show where this kid is messing with the salt and pepper shaker and doing all that, and the mom is just like, oh yeah, like I don't know what he's doing. But then one of the team members comes up and he's like, he just checkmated me. And they're like, wait, what do you mean? And they're like, he's playing chess. This is the queen, this is the king, and this kid's actually playing chess with these other pieces. He just needed someone that was able to see the language that he was speaking in order to connect. And now, because they were able to connect and form that communication pathway of something that's similar, something that the kid could actually express himself, slowly he starts to be able to gain this trust for the person that's able to connect with them, able to communicate. And it's such a heartwarming thing, because it's like, if there's just that level of patience of like, oh, he's not just moving pillows to do this. He's not just doing this. He's doing this in his way to communicate to you, or her way to communicate.
I feel like that comes to like the other person's inability to see that as well. You know, because it's like if the kid is like so smart that like the other people weren't smart enough to catch that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like their fault that they weren't smart enough to catch that either, in a way, you know? So it's kind of hard, I guess, for both sides to be understanding of each other.
Well, and it's like the show Big Bang Theory. A lot of people don't realize that Sheldon Cooper is technically on the spectrum, and you can see
the
it
actor,
in a
or
lot.
the actual character.
Just the character himself.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if the actual actor himself has autism, but the character shows clear signs of certain autistic traits.
I can see
Obviously,
that.
it's never, as far as I'm aware, it's never
not
actually confirmed on the show that he has it, but there's a lot of signs. But the friend group that he has ends up learning around, like, he says, you can't sit there because I sit there because of these certain things. And so instead of the friends being like, well, screw you, I'm going to sit here anyway.
They're accepting and they get up and they move.
And they're like, oh, no, you can't sit there because this. And like, there's that episode where Penny is like, there's another guy that sits there and then he's like, no, you can't sit there because Cross wins this, and everyone looks at her like, holy, and like Sheldon looks at her like, this is the most amazing thing.
Yeah,
like, you listen to me. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so it's situations like that.
Moments like that heal people, you know?
It's just a different form of being able to communicate and connect. That's kind of the way that I have personally learned to view autism.
Yeah.
Not that they're different. It's just communication might not be the exact same the way that me and you communicate.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I still have a lot of issues with verbal cues. I don't know when a girl's hitting on me half the time.
I don't.
Right.
I never ever pick it up.
Yeah, I'll sit there and be like, oh, she was hitting on me? I thought she was just being nice. And
like they can give me like the love eyes, but I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't.
Like,
I don't. Why? No. Like
Yeah.
Carl, remember Carl from TV Neutron?
Yeah.
Why are you handing me this dollar? Why are
Yeah.
you giving me that look? Like, you know what I
Absolutely.
mean? When they're trying to like to win the votes or whatever. Like, that's how I am.
Yeah?
I feel like I'm like Carl sometimes. Like, why are you giving me this dollar? Like, why are you hitting on me? I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know. Look,
That's
I feel like
awesome.
I'm like getting better at it,
Yeah.
but not the best. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think that there is, though, like, a perfect or anything like that. Like,
No,
from what
not
I've
even
seen, especially in you're just fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with the way that you communicate. There's nothing, and it like, even if there were different things, it's still, it's not to say that there's anything wrong with the way you communicate. You just might, your brain might take in information a different way. Like, I was watching a video earlier that was explaining that for people that have autism, it's more of a literal rather than emotional. So they'll come to a situation, and instead of acting in an emotional, reactive way, the way that normal, I'm putting air quotes for those who are just listening, normal people, they take it in a literal sense. So in fact, they're better in those high emotion things because they're thinking with a more logical standpoint
Makes
rather than
sense.
emotional.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the movie Guardians of the Galaxy?
Of course.
You know, Drax the Destroyer.
Yeah.
Remember when they're sitting in they're sitting in a little air thing and Rocket goes, his species takes everything literal, metaphors go over his head.
Yeah.
And Drax literally says, nothing will lower my head. My
Yeah.
reflexes are too fast. I will catch it. That is literally the definition of autism. Because
Yeah.
he is so literal. He's like, do not call me a thesaurus.
Like
It's a metaphor. I'm like,
Yeah.
you
He
know,
doesn't get
like,
it.
well, that's pretty much the only thing that I could really see that would be mainly different is the fact that like sarcasm might not be taken as easily for someone with autism because sarcasm is not a literal thing. I might say like, "Oh, this is so cool," and obviously I'm saying in our sarcastic tone.
And I might totally agree with
Like,
you.
yeah,
Like,
that's so cool.
that would even like realizing, oh,
Yeah. So, but it's
Well,
those
that's
kinds of things where it's
sarcasm,
just
you know what I mean?
a communication difference.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all it might be for something like that. Obviously, with Asperger's and other things, like there does come different behavioral tendencies, which I have seen. Like I grew up, and one of my best friends had Asperger's. Unfortunately, none of us really knew anything about Asperger's. I didn't know what it was. His mom just told us, "Hey, he has Asperger's." Do I wish that there would have been a little bit more education
Explanation.
of like, here's some tendencies, here's some because there were instances where like, hey, like, why are you doing this? Because we're all kids and he's overdoing it, and then he feels bad, and then we feel bad because he feels bad, and it's just a big train versus like, hey, there could be more oversight on his part of a certain type of thing. So you might have to give him a little bit more of a break.
Yeah.
You
And
might need like a 5-10 minute
Yeah.
timeout.
Exactly.
Not a timeout, but
I feel like it's hard,
Break, yeah.
like in like school education for like teachers or something to be like, okay, so here's what autism is, here's what Asperger's is, then this is how you have to deal with all of these people. Just, so like I'm wondering if there's a way that like, because I have to myself tell people that I have bipolar. Now it's easier when I'm older, but like if it would be easier for that kid with Asperger's to, like if you teach him what to say to other people for them to understand him better, would that be an easier way for like younger generations?
Well, I mean, it really shouldn't be his or her responsibility.
But
to
if it
tell
would like
people.
help the situation, like because those people don't understand it, and if he understands it a little bit, like because like I say that I'm bipolar so that people can understand me.
Yeah.
And it saves my time, it saves my emotions. I'm just wondering.
I think one of the things that and correct me if I'm wrong, but more of instead of like you teaching you how to interact, kind of letting people
teaching them how to-
letting people know that like, hey, by the way, I have autism, which just means that some of the stuff that you might say might go over my head a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of just
Or I
like,
might view things differently.
Yeah, just really quickly.
and
they
obviously you
would
don't have
know.
to say that to every person that you meet.
No,
but
you
Yeah.
don't. But if it's somebody you really like appreciate, and
Yeah.
you'll say, "Hey, if you notice like I'm acting this way, or if I'm doing this
Yeah.
behavior, it's because of this. Please don't think of it as I don't care,
Yeah.
or
Right.
I'm weird, or I'm
could be
Do you
strange."
think that would help you? Do you do that?
I do that.
Yeah.
I did that with Monica when I met her, and
Okay.
she goes, "Oh, I know. I never judged you." I was like, "Shut up."
Oh, this girl sounds
Mark.
amazing.
Yeah.
No, I want you guys to meet her. I
Yeah.
really do. I wish
Yeah.
she could have been here today, but she
Yeah.
has some things going on.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as teaching it's not the fact that like a blanketed thing, but there are studies shown, and I don't want to say definitions, but there are different things of like what are the symptoms of Asperger's or autism or this different types of things, and that way teaching them like if you see someone with these tendencies, don't just assume that they're weird.
Yeah, that makes us feel even worse.
Maybe
you know,
you
what?
could
It
just-
makes us feel even worse.
Maybe like as someone who is quote unquote neurotypical, as they might call it, you could understand that like, hey, it's your job to understand that there's people that could like if you see these tendencies, try to piece 1 and 2 together that
Right.
this could be happening. Like that's usually what like when I see somebody, obviously I'm not trying to judge them,
Yeah.
but I will immediately notice certain things. Like I can most likely see or like understand that someone has autism that I'm talking to. I'm not going to immediately be like, what is wrong with you? I'm going
Right.
to piece 2 and 2 together in my head and be like, oh, you know what? I might have to be a little bit more understanding of
Well,
the
the
situation.
reason why I think that you were able to get to that point was because you interacted with people with autism. And,
Right.
So then you got to learn over time how to see people with autism and,
Yeah.
and catch them now. So like a lot of I think the like trauma and stuff happens when people are first interacting with someone
Yeah.
like that. And so how do you, as a person who's just now learning about autism, not react negatively to something you've never seen before?
That's a
I think
good
that's on like us as a society to
Yeah.
like learn. It's hard. That's a hard thing to
It
learn
is
if
very
you don't know
hard.
anything about it.
Yeah, I think it is very hard. I feel like there are different things though. Like if there is a high functioning person, then having them interact a little bit more, like have people like meet or something or figure out.
But
some
if
sort
it's
of
hard for
program.
them to interact with people, like how do you do that?
Well, that's why you would. I feel like maybe you could get someone like yourself who is okay with meeting new people, who is
And
okay with
yeah,
talking to
just-
people,
Just
and
let them know, like,
yeah,
you're
kind
not
of like
alone.
when
you
you
know.
when you meet
Yeah.
when you have two
Yeah.
dogs meet each other, yeah, it has to be a slow interaction or something.
You
Right.
can't
So
just rush it.
Yeah.
If you rush it, then
yeah.
not good things gonna come out.
So finding some like in a school setting, finding someone like yourself that can kind of explain
like
things a
speak
little
for
bit
other people, like
and be
you
like,
said.
hey,
Yeah.
by the way, these people also have autism. However, I am a little bit more on what they call the higher functioning
Yeah.
side of things. So
Right.
I'm able to explain. They're not able to.
Right.
Maybe showing some videos.
Right.
I with the technology and the education that we have today, I feel like we can easily show kids videos on like
So easy.
hey,
Yeah, it's
here's
a
someone
great
with
idea.
autism or something.
Yeah.
What are you gonna or some sort of simulation? We have VR now. We have all these different things
True.
of like these tools. I feel like that we could because I've the people. Yes, I've been put around people with autism, But even like the first time that I saw someone, at first I was a little bit like, huh, but then I was like, oh, you know what? They're just another person.
Well, yeah.
They
They have
just
the same
might.
heart, blood,
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
they're all the same.
So and I don't know. I definitely. I just feel like awareness completely just
Yeah.
needs to be.
There's a teacher at my school, and I talked to her like 2 years ago, and she was like, maybe you can do like an educational thing at the school.
Aw.
You know, be like a
Yeah.
speaker, And I
That
thought
would be
about
really
it,
cool.
like a speaker for like the whole school, like let them know how to deal with kids like that. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought about like an inspirational speaker.
Yeah.
That's the word.
That would
That'd
be
be
a cool
great.
thing for
I've
you.
thought about it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like talking right now is good with small crowd.
Right.
The whole entire school.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
It's
might
hard.
get cold feet and get clammy.
Maybe you
and,
could
like,
record a video and like play that video for them.
Yeah, that's
No.
cool. I mean, doing this
Ooh.
podcast is a good first step. You know.
Yeah.
That was the first step,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's
I've
cool.
thought about going to the school and being like, hey, you know, Coach Kim, love her to death. She's one of my favorite teachers. Reached out, and I think it'd be best if I could just talk about autism to the whole entire school. Like, just be like inspirational speaker for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because some kids don't know.
Right.
Absolutely.
kids
And you're
do know.
capable of being that for
Understanding
everyone.
both sides of
Yeah.
the good and the bad. And, like, I just want people to be more aware about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is all.
Yeah.
I mean, especially just how wide the spectrum could be, and the fact that it's not just a black and white thing.
Ooh.
There are so many different types, and I feel like more education on that.
And even nowadays, you got this thing called a phone.
Yeah.
Literally.
You got a phone in your hand. You say whatever you want on the other side of the screen.
Yeah.
Right.
Cyberbullying is a big
It's really
thing.
bad.
And
I know.
kids- And kids with disabilities of any kind may not handle cyberbullying. They don't
Right.
know like what to do in that kind of situation,
Right.
Absolutely.
which is really
It's really hard.
sad, and it's really hard too, because like I can't imagine nowadays
How cruel
the
people are.
bullying, how people cruel are, especially behind a screen. Like
Yeah.
back then, I didn't have phone in 6th, 5th, 4th grade.
Right.
Yeah.
You did that in person.
Then you had to pay for how many words you sent.
Yeah.
Not even,
Oh my gosh.
oh yeah, not even that, but like you had to be that person. Like you had to do that in person.
Yeah.
Budgeting your minutes.
No, you had to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
that,
awful.
but like even like without the phone, gotta have a phone until I was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a little Motorola flip phone.
Do you
but-
think having a phone affected your autism with making it worse or better?
Social media or just a phone?
Like, what do you
Both.
mean by that?
Like when you were introduced to having a phone, did the
Oh, that's
extra
all I cared
stimulation?
That's all I cared about.
Yeah.
When I first had a phone, that was all I did
Yeah.
all day.
Like texting or games or what?
Just being on the phone.
Right.
It provided
Just having
that
it
kind
in
of-
my hand was like, I don't know. It was like the stimulation
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
thing. Is touching.
Did you have like
all
a
over.
flip phone so you were like
I had the
constantly flipping
so
it open and
I
out?
was 16. I had the one that you slide up.
Oh.
Yeah, I had that too. And
This
so I
one
was
you
just
go,
like,
boop, you slide it up. It was so cool. You had your keyboard on the bottom.
Yeah. I had
Yep.
that one.
And
Yeah.
then I remember when the Samsung Galaxies, the first generation, came out on touchscreen.
yeah.
Everybody lost their mind when that phone came out.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
Samsung S1 or 2, I think it was, came out. They were all, me, I'm all.
Not for you.
Not me, not yet. And they're all,
Yeah.
dude, touchscreen's a new thing. I was all, what? I looked at it, the keyboard. It was not even, there was no keyboard. It was all touchscreen. I was
Yeah.
like, sign me up. And after that, it was game over. Like, that was the thing, was touchscreen. And then you had the read my face thing. That was the next thing.
Yeah.
And you had the fingerprint thing.
Yeah.
That was the next thing. I was like, technology is going so fast. And I was like, let's see, touchscreen came out like in, that was like 10 years when touchscreen came out. And like ever since then, it's been like, Now you got AI on your phone.
Yeah,
I
know.
What is
Wild.
going on, man?
It's like talking to you.
Do you think
Whoa.
having a phone and having the ability to text people on social media, do you think that helps improve your sociability skills, or do you think
I
that
feel like it's a 50-50. Because I feel like, yes, I can talk to you because I'm not in front of you.
Right.
I've never met you, so like, yes, I can hide behind the phone.
yeah,
And I feel like that's the hindering part. You know, I've never
Right.
met you before. I'm going to say whatever I want on the phone because
Yeah.
you're through the screen. You're not there in person.
right?
And so that's the hindering part. The advanced part about it, though, is FaceTime and like calling people. I love the FaceTiming.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like FaceTiming somebody, let them know that like I'm good, I'm okay. You know,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I like see though that's the plus sign because I feel like FaceTiming is boosting social interaction with physical entities.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So electronic entities, it's physical.
Right.
Like right now, my voice did this crack. Don't judge.
Mine
But
does it all the time.
No.
man, so I'm just saying, like the FaceTimes, the video chats, that helps out so much with physically talking to people versus like just calling or texting. I can call somebody, but who wants to call somebody? We can really see their face on the phone,
Yeah.
you know. So that's the plus sign, the plus side
Yeah.
about the communication.
That's good.
I'm such a phone call talker. I don't like texting because that's for me almost too stimulating.
Not even that, cause like you could say something and like it is misread
Yeah.
Totally.
almost completely opposite way. of
even when
what
I'm
you meant to
texting,
say.
it's the voice to text thing. I
Yeah.
can't sit there and type.
And then they go, "What do you mean by that?"
Yeah.
And you read it back, you go, "Holy shit! I forgot to say LOL JK at the end." And then like you're typing this whole entire explanation. I'm like, "I forgot to say LOL JK," and then like they think you're lying to them, and it's like, well, that conversation ruined. See ya.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I don't like video chats myself because I like never have makeup on or anything, and so I'm like I'm not answering the phone.
I'm gonna FaceTime you every day then.
So I have to
Whoa.
put makeup on every day.
Well, no, don't even put makeup on. Just have confidence in yourself.
You don't want to look at me
mean,
right now.
Just boost your own confidence.
I
yeah,
know.
like,
I'm trying to. I am trying to.
You have to.
Yeah.
Is there anything about autism that we didn't necessarily touch on that you want to bring more specific awareness to or
I was
educate
just
those?
about the whole society thing.
Yeah.
That was the main thing I was getting about. You shouldn't change yourself, like I said before. You shouldn't change yourself because society wants you to change or wants you to be part of the norm.
Yeah.
The norm and society should change for you. And that's just not for autism.
Yeah.
People with Down syndrome, people with Asperger's, people with Tourette's, people with this, people with that. They
Yeah.
all deserve to be loved and cared for,
Right.
just like you and me. We all
Absolutely.
deserve the same treatment. Yes, you know, there are more severe disabilities, and it's very hard to maintain and be in control of, which is fine. You know, sometimes the world doesn't need to be controlled. It doesn't need to be, you know, a set dotted line in life.
Right.
You can branch off here and there on your path. You know, your path is not perfect, and the world needs to understand that. And needs to realize that, hey, not everybody can follow the same path that I did.
Right.
The same path that society has. Society needs to be more confronting and accepting of that, I feel
Yeah.
like. And that's all. Like, yeah, we got everything done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything, this is a wonderful interview. Thank you so much for having me on this.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Yeah.
This was really fun. Thank y'all so much.
I want to say thank you on behalf of me and maybe
Yeah.
even you
Yeah.
for being able to come on here and talk about something that could be so controversial, such as like I know a lot of people, especially on a podcast that doesn't have medical professionals and stuff,
Yeah.
to be able to really bring light to something like this.
Lou.
That there isn't a lot of awareness that I'm aware of that touches around things, especially like autism and how to interact with them or what they're thinking,
Right.
what's going on their side of the coin.
I knew
so.
nothing.
Yeah.
So I
And now
learned
you
so
feel
much
like now you
today.
learn so much, and they
Yeah,
see
of
I'm
course.
glad I'm
So,
here to help out. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
totally.
Like, it was fun.
I'm very appreciative that you were able to come on here and be so open and vulnerable with us and letting us
That's
into
that's
this
just how
thing.
it is, man. You can't live life without vulnerability. You
Yeah.
can't be sheltered. You
I
know.
think the statistic I heard today is it's 1 in 36. 1 in 36 people are diagnosed with autism.
Wow.
Wow,
That's a lot of people.
that's a
Yeah,
lot
it
of
was
people.
1 in
Wow.
80, and then it moved to 1 in
Really?
45, I think, and now it's 1 in 36.
Wow.
Can you
so there
look
should
that
be-
up really quick
Yeah,
just to
it's just-
confirm that? Because
Yeah.
that's a very high number.
Yeah.
That's important then that people
Yeah, that's
start
the
to
like the
understand.
statistic in that. That's a very increased number.
Yeah.
Because when I was growing up, autism was like
Rare.
nobody knew what it was.
Yeah.
They thought it was severe ADHD or something like that. I'm all, no, just a little something more than ADHD. Maybe the
Yeah, approximately 1 in 36 people, or 36 children have been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Prevalent
Boys.
mostly in boys.
Wow.
It
Not to
is
say
a
that
male.
It's not
it
girls.
is a dominant male
Really?
But it
trait.
is-
Yeah.
Estimated mostly that.
What is the difference between male to female ratio? Can we look that up? real quick?
It's ASD or autism spectrum disorder is 3.8 times as prevalent among boys as among girls. So
3.8.
4.3% for boys, 1.1% for girls. This
Oh,
is
wow.
according
Wow.
to Google. That's
We're not professionals here. Please don't take our
but
quote
it's
lightly.
2.21% of adults have it, and then 1 in 100 are around the world. So.
Oh, so that's just
Yeah,
the
so in
United States for the
in
1
the
in
U.S.
36.
it's 1 in 36. Around
Okay.
the world, it's 1 in 100. Obviously,
That's still a lot of people.
That's still a lot of
Yeah.
people. Let's say there's
Yeah.
7
billion.
people
Since
around the
2000,
world, right?
Yeah.
You
it's
divide
had about
that.
a 312% increase.
Wow.
Whoa.
I wonder what's causing that.
I think
Just-
one, just population booming,
Yeah.
and two, the fact that
Like evolution,
When I was
maybe?
hearing about
Like
that
it's a good
statistic,
thing? Yeah.
Who knows?
when I was hearing about that statistic, it's because of the range has increased. So they used to not be able to diagnose kids at a certain
Yeah.
age.
Oh.
Now the age has been lowered. So because of technology advancements,
So they're
they're
catching
able
it.
to
Catch it
them
earlier.
as early as I think.
Yeah,
I want
they
to say
could.
2. Don't quote me on it, but I think it's 2 years old or something like that.
Right.
Versus
I was diagnosed when I was 3 or 4, and that
Yeah.
was back in 99, 2000.
so maybe it's even younger, but yeah. So I think just
Oh.
advancements in technology have made it to where
An
we're
understanding.
able to diagnose more people because we're
Right.
able to have more screeners and
Technological
understanding in
advances, you
general.
know what
Yeah.
I mean? More study, exactly 100%.
obviously there's a lot of controversy around that with vaccinations and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
right.
yeah,
We can't
no,
even get into that right now.
man,
Wow.
man,
But
trust me,
that's a
I've
whole
had,
different type
Wow.
of thing.
I've had my own personal experience about that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, somebody said that vaccinations are the reason why you're like who you are,
Really?
and you're fake.
Stop
I
it.
don't believe in autism. I got up
Wow.
and I was like, this was back in high school. So I'm sitting at the lunch table. One more story, we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is at the lunch table at high school, and I go, hold on, let me refill my drink. I go refill my drink, and this girl and her boyfriend, I come back, and she goes, come on, let's go. Elbows her boyfriend. They get up and leave, go sit on another table, and I go, what just happened? And my friends go, you don't want to know. And I go, if I'm your friend, you're going to tell me what happened, because I want to linger about this my whole life. And they told me, well, the girl said that you're faking who you are because you're seeking attention.
Oh,
And I was like, I am so glad I did not hear that, because
Yeah.
I would have had another rage moment. And I don't know. They're like, dude, don't do anything dumb. I'm like, I'm not doing nothing dumb. They already left. They said what they said when I was gone.
yeah.
That's on them.
That's
not
their
on-
limitation.
That's their limitation on their knowledge
Yeah.
and how stupid they are and
Right.
how dumb they sound.
Yeah.
And that is on them. That is
Absolutely.
not on me.
I'm
I
glad
know
you
who-
understood that.
Yeah.
I know who I am as a person. If they don't want to accept that, that's fine. But don't put your stupid stupidity on other people.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say
I
about
love that.
Well, thank you again
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you guys.
This has been
for
a
this
great
conversation.
This is
conversation.
a
Yeah.
wonderful conversation. This has been
We love learning about stuff that we don't know. And yes, obviously, I try to do as much research as I can a little bit ahead of time. I'm no doctor or anything, but I try to have a little bit of an understanding. But
Right,
there's
cool.
still so much that I don't know.
Yeah.
And obviously, the best way to learn
From
is by
personal
It's not somebody who
experience.
has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to see
Talking-
their side of the coin.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You
Again,
guys are
so
very
much.
welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me on your show.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Wow, that was literally